After 4 months at home, paralyzed by fear, afraid other students at school are contaminated, Michelle tries to go back to school, one class at a time. Science class is first.
You've been working groups of 2 to 3 maximum.
I felt like I needed to get back at the OCD and feel like I could do it.
She's crossed the first big hurdle. She's there in class. But right away, within minutes into first period, we notice Michelle is already anxious about something. Asking about the 8th grade prom, an overnight trip to Hershey Park.
But you're going to Hershey, right?
A trip that's still 2 months away. She can't imagine an overnight trip away from home. She's just trying to get through a day at school. Science, shop, and lunch in the chaotic cafeteria.
It's a little weird because the kids are where have you been?
And it's not just her friends asking questions. Even the principal seemed uncertain about just how to handle Michelle on her first day back.
I put up my hand to kind of do a high five, and she didn't blink, and she high-fived me, and I knew we were on the right track.
Michelle has made it back to school. But next comes the homework. And this has nothing to do with schoolwork. This is the continuing fight against her OCD. After school, she goes to Kohl's, the one department store she fears most.
I'm feeling anxious already just thinking about going.
Not because of the store itself, but because of the other students she has seen there.
Am I going to be able to pull into the parking lot?
Yes, you can pull into the parking lot.
Okay. Can you stick your hand out the window? What's happening?
The germs are coming through.
How does that feel?
Icky.
Michelle knows her fear is irrational, but that is OCD.
What's going through your head, Michelle?
That I'm dirty.
I'm going to get out. I'm just going to get out and stand right here.
Mom gets out of the car and then reaches down to touch the pavement. She then touches her daughter to show her nothing bad will happen.
See, I touched the ground, you touched me.
And now the hard part, actually walking toward the store, to the entrance that Michelle hasn't walked through in over 4 months.
The store's contaminated from the kids at school.
What about the people out there who might say, we're enabling these children and a little tough love would probably be better? Just push them into the department store or...
Think about when you're afraid of anything. If someone tries to push you against your will, harder than you feel ready to, your tendency is to dig your heels in, to say, to just pull back. They want to get better. There's nobody more motivated than they are to stop this thing from controlling their life.
Do you want to walk back and forth just on that line?
The idea is that once you face your fear and you face it over and over and over again over a period of time, you become less sensitive to it.
You can't go and run and touch the door and run back? Okay, I won't push. You did good. How do you feel?
I feel good.
After nearly making it to that front door of the store, a hug from her mother. Even though Michelle was unable to go inside, they still consider this a mini milestone before they head home for the day. While back in that therapist's office, Bridget is still trying to get home. For her, it's been 6 months living away from her family.
I don't want to.
And Bridget is about to face her biggest fear of all, that she'll be contaminated by her own father. It's been 6 months since they've even spoken.
You're 15. He's missed half of that year. He's waiting.
Her father walks in, and because he works undercover in law enforcement, the family has asked us that we not show his face. She cannot make eye contact with her own father.
When you feel ready, I'd like you to try to unball yourself.
We sit in the room for 35 minutes, Bridget still trying to calm down. She still can't even look in the direction of her own father. And then the small steps begin. Bridget musters the courage to look at her father's shoes.
They are brown and black and have laces.
What color pants is he wearing?
They're khaki.
The doctor asks Bridget to look beyond the shoes, beyond the pants, directly at her father. A full hour has gone by.
All done, I'm all done.
She never looked.
Do you want to finish for
Yes.
the day? You really want to finish for the day?
Her father leaves the room. We wondered, will she ever break through? Will she ever go home? Or will the OCD win? Dr. David Rosenberg is convinced Bridget and other children like her can conquer it. His team at the Children's Hospital of Michigan is on the front lines in this fight against OCD. In a groundbreaking study, they're now looking closely at the MRIs of children who have OCD. They can actually see it. The brain's anatomy, its makeup, the child's genetics can actually reveal the disorder.
It's chemical, it's physiological.
And we can see it on an MRI.
The doctors here say they've made a major discovery. They know the brain chemical glutamate is critically involved in OCD. It acts as the brain's light switch. And there's either too much of it or too little of it in children who have the disease, which means the light switch is broken. And in turn, the part of the brain that gives most of us the all clear when we're worried never gets that message.
They never get the all clear signal. They have to worry obsessively over and over again because the brain's arousal center is just giving it the message that you have to keep checking over and over.
Many of us check the doors when we leave the house or the stove, sometimes 2 or 3 times, constantly asking ourselves questions about it, much like Rocco did with his mother.
I don't remember, get the phone.
Eventually, though, our brains give us the message that it's okay to move on. With children who have OCD, it's different.
Instead of saying relax, it's saying worry more, alarm, danger.
And for you and me, we might get an alarm, but then once we check it, the alarm goes away.
Exactly right. It tells us, hey, there's nothing to worry about. That never happens in a child with obsessive compulsive disorder.
And once doctors can pinpoint what's going on, the medication can help reset that chemical imbalance. Antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication is most often used, depending on the child.
That's significant.
It's huge.
Huge because the doctor says, without knowing any of this, it typically takes 7 to 8 years for parents to find the right kind of help for their children. Many parents don't know what their child is suffering from. And now they say this combination of the right medicine and that exposure therapy we've now been witnessing for months can help children keep their worries at bay. And these doctors aren't the only ones trying to get the word out.
My name's Elizabeth, and I have obsessive compulsive disorder.
Remember Elizabeth? She was the teenager who once punched holes in her wall. She got that help, therapy, and medicine. And since that home video 3 years ago, she's now gone to college, and she is now the national spokesperson for the Obsessive Compulsive Foundation.
How long did it take you to get ready this morning?
I'd say 30, 40 minutes. What a typical girl, how long it should take a typical girl to get ready.
That's a huge feat.
Yeah, I can remember taking 5 to 6 hour showers.
And if she could do it, we wondered, what about Rocco? Remember, his parents told us they couldn't even get him onto a merry-go-round without watching their boy dissolve. His worries about what could happen, about getting sick. Just weeks ago, we met them again at New York Central Park.
How you doing, Rocco?
He is now on antidepressant medication. That medicine and therapy is working. On this particular morning, he did struggle to get out of the house, but he got here and onto that merry-go-round.
17-1-1.
17-1-1?
He boasts of his baseball team's record, but his parents know the biggest victory was just getting him here. All of those mornings, they couldn't get him out the front door.
Go, goodbye.
I think Margaret and I make a great team together. She has to shut the door to get him off to school.
Even for Rocco, thinking back is painful.
Each day felt like a month to me.
By putting a name to it, it helped Rocco understand, hey, I have OCD, okay, and this is how I'm going to deal with it.
But our journey with the children is far from over.